Jenny Dean shows us how a couple living in a local shelter after losing their jobs and their home.
This is a story of homelessness that you might not expect to hear. It's about a family who, like so many families, was one paycheck away from being homeless.
I just need a permanent job to work so I can support my family.
Mike is a family man who's held a steady job for 20 years, working in West Virginia's coal mines, and now suddenly he's homeless. It's a devastating situation for Mike and his wife Sherry, who never thought it could happen to them.
We had a business and we had a home above the business, and there was no revenue generated, there was no money coming in, so we had to do something.
So Mike and Sherry, who's pregnant with their first child, packed a few belongings and headed for Cleveland to find jobs.
Actually, we just took a chance to come out and see if there was any jobs. We were just coming out for a week, and then where my car blew up.
When his car blew up, they were forced to come to this Cleveland shelter where Mike does anything to stay busy, including scrub the shelter's pots and pans.
I'm a workaholic. I just love to work.
Think of these as a sign of how much Mike wants to work. Now, even though Mike and Sherry left almost everything behind in West Virginia, Mike insisted on bringing these in hopes of getting some work.
In West Virginia, there just was no jobs, so if anybody's out there can give me a permanent job, or if I have to, I'll work a week for free just to show them I can do the job, or they can train me on the job. It don't matter. I just need a permanent job so me and Sherry can make it.
Jenny Dean, News Channel 5.
Now, if you think you can help Sherry and Mike find work, call the Harbor Light Salvation Army where they're staying at 781-3773 and ask for George.
And I bet he's going to get a job because I know George Woodworth over there at Harbor Light. He does an excellent job, and I know that probably tomorrow or the next day we'll be reporting that he got a job.
Hope so. Hope you're right.
Well, that story caused an overwhelming response among News Channel 5 viewers. The Harbor Light Shelter says they received at least 200 calls today from Clevelanders offering former coal mine worker Mike Owsley a job.
People were calling up. They were offering them jobs, places to stay, transportation.
And they really went out of their way to help us. And it's surprised me, it really has. And I'm just so happy.
It's just very overwhelming, and I just want to say thank you, Cleveland. That's all.
Mike's wife Sherry says he'll be going on job interviews next week, and maybe even to pick up a car that one Clevelander offered the couple.
That's amazing. Joe Paganakis sat right here last night and said that would happen.
Hey, it's great to see it.
Yeah. Well,
their car and home, only to end up in a Cleveland homeless shelter. At least 200 people called that shelter after our story to offer the husband a job. News Channel 5's Jenny Dean details how it happened.
It's your first day on the job. You're a little dirty. I'd shake your hand, but I can't.
I'll give you a hug.
The people who deserve that hug from Mike Owsley are 200 Clevelanders who called to offer him work after seeing his story on News Channel 5.
The people of Cleveland are great. I've never seen this before. Really, I'm on a sort of a high, but I don't know what to say. It's so beautiful.
Mike's a little overwhelmed by the number of people who came forward to offer him a job. And one of those people was Tim Bragg, a subcontractor who put Mike to work at Soberay Machine and Equipment.
And I said, well, you know, the guy's from West Virginia. He's got to have common sense. It'd fit right in here.
I've been wanting a permanent job, and I've got it. And the man guaranteed me all the work I want to do.
And work is what Mike likes to do. After 20 years of working in West Virginia's coal mines, he's just happy that he'll be able to provide for his wife Sherry and a new baby on the way.
Won't be homeless anymore. Sure won't.
Meanwhile, back here at Mike's temporary home, the Harbor Light Homeless Shelter, there are other people who are being helped by Mike's job search.
Well, with 200 calls, him only taking one, there's going to be a trickle-down effect for the other people here in shelter.
There's a lot of jobs there that they could do, and it would help them out. This helped me out and helped them out, too.
Jenny Dean, News Channel 5.
Incidentally, Mike and Sherry Owsley were also given a car and expect to be in their new home soon.
Hopefully their home will be here for many
Hope so.
years.
Channel 8 News reporter Stephanie Schaefer has the story of one of Cleveland's own who turned his addiction around and is now helping those with similar problems.
Room check.
Gotta do a room check.
Hey, Ruth. How you doing?
As Director of Emergency Services for the Salvation Army Harbor Light Complex, George Woodworth checks up on his tenants, helping them overcome their addiction, while also helping to get their life back in order.
When they realized that you were in their exact same spot, because I was in shelter here myself as a client numerous times besides just detox and treatment, they look at you in a different way. They want to know, what did you do to get back on your feet?
Not long ago, George was the one looking for help. After being married for 7 years, George's addiction to alcohol tore apart his family. He and his wife, Lisa, divorced, and for the next 8 years, George lived on the streets.
The drinking took me over. I still wouldn't admit I had a problem, even though I was having blackouts every time I drank. Everything I did revolved around drinking.
Then, after spending time at 9 treatment centers and 14 detox programs, George sobered up and not only got a second chance at life, he got a second chance in love. He married his ex-wife Lisa again and was reunited with his daughter. Later, he and Lisa had another child.
I think God just has a plan for me, whether, and I believe it's here, you know. It's just been a miracle, my recovery, and then also coming to work here, getting back with my family.
Knowing where George was before, someone who would drink witch hazel in the bathroom, to a real father, to a helpmate, to somebody that I care about and that he cares about for me is totally, to me, just totally awesome.
And during all the tough times, George's family never gave up on him, including his mother-in-law, Esther Schimpf.
We never gave up. We just prayed for him and did whatever we could.
I'm very honored and pleased that I have him as a brother.
George says life is great now, and he feels the rocky path he took to find himself, his family, and his job happened all for a reason.
I know what relapse is. I know how fragile sobriety is. And the only thing I can do is just, you know, tell them that there's still time. There's, at least you were able to come back in or whatever, and just try to give them hope for the next time.
Stephanie Schaefer, 8 is News in Cleveland.
And George says he takes pride in being able to help others get back on their feet and begin